Oxford struck first after 19 minutes. Chris Allen's cross deflected in by defender Kit Simons. 4 minutes later, Lee Chapman showed his class. Guy Butter's through ball, finding the £250,000 signing to score in his debut for the club. The home side were in front again after 39 minutes. Chris Allen causing all sorts of problems and rounding off the move himself. Pompey's other new signing, Mark Blake, was instrumental in setting up Chapman for his second goal. But the game hinged on a controversial penalty. As Portsmouth attacked, they felt Mark Stimpson's cross was blocked by a handball. As the players appealed, Oxford launched a counter-attack. 20-year-old Allen on the break found Jim Magilton in the centre. As defender Mark Chamberlain put himself between the striker and goal, the referee judged that he handled the ball and awarded a penalty. Butters was quick to point out he thought it should have been a penalty at the other end. But a look at the first incident suggests it was a head, not a hand, that got to the ball first. And the penalty for Oxford, it looks to have been a harsh decision, but the camera angle makes it hard to tell. Magilton made no mistake from the spot. Final score, Oxford 3, Portsmouth 2.
It had all started so well for Portsmouth. Neat flowing football almost brought an early goal for Paul Walsh, with his clever chip just inches too high. Charlton relied on the counter-attack, and when Portsmouth failed to clear a cross, Colin Walsh's shot deflected off Mark Chamberlain, bringing a fine save from Alan Knight. But after 20 minutes, Charlton took the lead. Pompey failed to clear a free kick, and when Walsh crossed hard and low, Gary Nelson did the rest. 2 minutes later, a surging run by Alan McLoughlin opened up the Charlton defence, but there was no one at the far post to convert the cross. And Charlton made them pay by scoring a second goal 6 minutes before half-time. Scott Minto's back heel, and Walsh's shot was too good for Knight. Kit Simons scored a second-half penalty, but it wasn't enough. Final score, Portsmouth 1, Charlton 2.
And Warren Neal cleverly worked with Paul Hall. The chance now flicks it in. Chapman in the net! But the linesman's flag is raised. The linesman's flag is up. That goal will not count for Pompey. It's a clever working of the ball by Paul Hall and Warren Neal. Perfect cross from Warren Neal. There was Chapman, but yards offside. Down on the bench below, screams instructions. Nice flick on there from Chapman, and Drea's boot was just in first ahead of Walsh. And Pompey now, their second corner. Burns having to move some photographic equipment before he can take this one. It looks to be a near post corner. It is towards Walsh. In comes Simons. Off the line. Dreyer there. But Stimpson beats Dixon into the area. It's Paul Hall with his first league goal for Pompey. Dixon tried to dribble the ball out. Stimpson beat him. Took the ball, squared it back. And there was young Paul Hall to score his first league goal in his first league start for Pompey. And Pompey, in the 39th minute, take the lead. Pompey 1, Luton 0.
So at the end of August, not the start Pompey and their fans would have wanted with just one win from 5 games.
Favourite for that one. Turning again. Sterling, lovely ball from Chris Burns. Neil spots Durnins ahead of his man. Walsh into the area. Past his man, pulls it back. Durnin, it's a goal! John Durnin! John Durnin on his first league appearance at Fratton Park, combining superbly with Paul Walsh. Walsh beat Cranston, took the ball to the bar. into the side of the net. O'Neill might look for Paul Walsh here. It's Walsh, two players on him, Sanford's one of them. Walsh knows too much for him, Walsh heads for the middle, and Paul Walsh scores a superb individual goal! Lee Sanford could get nowhere near him. Absolutely superb from Paul Walsh. Took the ball from the throw-in, headed towards the middle of the penalty area. Well, not to the edge of the area. Shot, superb. 2-0 to Pompey. 11 minutes gone. Boxes up. Teredas has come through to Mark Steen, and Mark Steen plants the ball past Brian Horn. It was a moment of confusion in the Pompey defence, and Mark Steen's not the sort of man you can give that amount of time to. That's a player within 15 yards of him. And now Durnin. Daniel tees up. Burns, beautiful cross. That's too high for Warren Neal. Neat footwork from Neal, but he didn't actually touch the ball, and eventually Walsh it is who steals it back and heads towards the area. Paul Walsh jinxing both ways. Walsh, and it's only the feet of Mark Prideaux coming out of the Pompey captain to concede another corner that stopped him. He jinxed his way through 4 players there, Paul Walsh. Such a dangerous player, especially in the box. Short corner to the near post. No, this one's long. Giddings, and it's in! It's in! A header from John Giddings, and an own goal on the line from Gleghorn or Foley. It's the 43rd minute. And again, it's just over the top of Butters. And again, here's Regis. And another chance for Regis. No, Horn's out quickly. And the referee has his hand up because that was a back pass. The ball played back to Brian Horn. Regis was in on the ball, but it hadn't been played by his own player. It was off a Pompey player. And now Stoke City have an indirect free kick. Pompey players will be made to go back 10 yards. Brian Horn is in the wall. In front of the wall is Brian Horn. In front of Horn is Dave Regis. Foley's over the ball. Steen's over the ball. Well, they've obviously worked something out here. To the right is Ian Cranston. Referee Groves making them get back the full 10 yards. There's a gap in the wall where Horn is. Krantz and Foley's on the ball. Steen's there, and Steen scores! Powerful header. Turn it, flick, and he finds Mickey Ginn. And here's Regis again, and this time Dave Regis on his 6th attempt, clear attempt on goal, buries it past Brian Horn. And it has to be said that that goal's been coming.
Portsmouth will rue their missed chances at Wolves. Alan McLoughlin's inch-perfect cross gave John Gittings a clear chance, but he headed wide. And just before half-time, Paul Walsh's pass released John Durnin. No defenders in sight, but Durnin couldn't beat keeper Mike Stowell. And 2 minutes into the second half, it was Wolves who went ahead with a scrappy goal. Kevin Keane's cross was mishit by David Kelly, but it was enough to beat the wrong-footed Alan Knight. Pompey's equaliser midway through the half came from the perseverance of Walsh. The ball appeared to be going out of play, but Walsh kept going and set up Durning with a simple chance for his second goal in successive games. Final score, Wolves 1, Portsmouth 1.
In the Anglo-Italian Cup, Pompey travelled to the Manor Ground, Oxford, and came away with a good 2-0 victory. First goal, great effort from John Durnin, bringing the ball under control, slotting it past the keeper, and then a fine individual effort from Paul Hall, cutting into the box and rifling it in with his left foot. 2-0 to Pompey. Late in the game, Chapman almost squeezed one past the keeper, but Pompey settled for 2-0.
Pompey with a throw. Warren Neal getting to stayed up. Walsh now turns, first time cross, headed in by John Durnin. Paul Walsh once again the provider, and Pompey take the lead in the 8th minute. The throw from Neal was long to Walsh. He turned his man, cross came the ball, and John Durnin in the 8th minute puts Pompey 1-0 up. The game coming to life this last 5 minutes. It's Bressington looks for Jason Lee. Good flick on from Lee. Chance for Jones. And Keith Jones replies for Southend in the 34th minute. McLoughlin still searching. Simons and Daryl Powell now. He's got an opportunity to make something here. Daryl Powell has scored for Pompey. Daryl Powell hits the roof of the net with 4 minutes left, and the crowd go wild. Against a run of play, it has to be said. Daryl Powell being brought on by Jim Smith as a substitute for Paul Walsh. And how superb for the young player to thresh that ball into the roof of the net. And now, if Pompey can hold on for these 4 minutes, he will go home feeling the proudest probably he's felt since his career at Pompey started. Superb strike. He looked to have delayed, but then hit that ball past Paul Sansom, giving him no chance whatsoever.
Portsmouth were content to hold on to a scoreless draw at Rotherham. Jon Christensen came close on 19 minutes, but was foiled by goalkeeper Billy Mercer. At the other end, former lead star Ime Varadi played a nice one too, but his shot came to nothing. Rotherham 0, Portsmouth 0.
Pompey were undefeated throughout September and booked their passage into Europe, but Lee Chapman had left the club, transferred to West Ham. Pompey pouring upfield, a deep kick from Alan Knight, chested by Walsh. Daryl Powell is over, a shot from Stimpson, and a flick, and Neil Richardson, the unlucky Rotherham centre-back. Walsh was preying on him. It must have been on his mind. As Paul Walsh came in, Richardson took, well, it can only be described as a huge heave-ho, and the ball looped cruelly over the top of Billy Mercer to put Pompey in the lead. Durnin's gone down the line, but it's inside to Paul Walsh. 5 players around Walsh, he still gets it in. McLoughlin! 2-0 to Pompey. Paul Walsh was surrounded by 5 Rotherham players. He's still got his cross into the area for the oncoming Alan McLoughlin to head the ball for goal number 2 for Pompey with just 18 minutes gone. And Billy Mercer this time A legitimate goal scored past him, and a beauty, and created magnificently by Paul Walsh. Walsh now finds Powell again. Stimpson's in to make something of this opportunity, but Rotherham scramble away. Good win is beaten. Stimpson, and Powell is onside. Ball at Lord played him onside. A chance for Daryl Powell. Looks up for Walsh. Looks up for Durnin. And Durnin turns the ball with his left foot into the net. A goal as simple as can be. Once Nicky Law had played Daryl Powell onside. Powell might have taken the shot himself. It was on his favourite left foot. Instead, he looked up, looked across the penalty area, saw number 9, John Durnin, to tap in his 5th goal of the season, and Pompey 3-0 to the good, with 35 minutes gone in the first half. Now Benny Christensen. McLoughlin. Oh, McLoughlin does well. Stimpson! Walsh! And a great reaction from Paul Walsh as Mark Stimpson's shot was blocked by the keeper. Paul Walsh was there to head the ball into the net for Pompey's 4th goal of the night. Brady. Tom Page. Stimpson sticking to his hand. Down on the touchline, there's an outbreak between Daryl Powell and Chris Wilder. Powell's having to be restrained. Both players will be called to Martin Bodeman, and the book's being reached for. Now this could be serious. Bodeman obviously had a clear view of what was happening, and punches appeared to be thrown. First is the name of Chris Wilder from Rotherham United. And it's a red card for Wilder, and I'm afraid it's going to be the same for Daryl Powell. No nonsense from Martin Bodeman, and Daryl Powell and Chris Wilder are sent off. Throw for Walsh. Stimpson, a lovely ball with the outside of his foot. Walsh keeps it in for Spurs. A lovely goal by Burns! A superb volley from Chrissy Burns. Stimpson it was who sent Paul Walsh down the line. Walsh with the cross, and Chris Burns a quite superb volley, giving Billy Wurster absolutely no chance at all. For Pompey's 5th goal on the night. Pompey 5-0 up now against Rotherham United. And that goal, the pick of the bunch. At London Road, Peterborough, Pompey came away with a 2-2 draw, but the goal of the game from Alan McLoughlin, right into the top corner. The Republic of Ireland international, a real cracker from him. Pompey 2, Peterborough 2.
He's being applauded onto the pitch for his 501st game to receive a special silver salver and commemorative medal from England #2 manager Laurie McNenemy and Pompey Vice Chairman David Deacon. Alan Knight, who came to Pompey as a 16-year-old way back in 1977 when he was signed by legendary Portsmouth man Jimmy Dickinson, who was manager in 1977. He made his debut in '78, and he's played 500 league appearances for Pompey since then, and in all a total of 587 appearances for the club, with 200 clean sheets. Really is a stalwart of the Pompey team. The move breaks down with the long ball looking for Paul Kitson. And that one's got away from Kit Simons. Tommy Johnson! And Tommy Johnson at the second attempt has put Derby into the lead. Kit Simons it was who tried to clear. The ball bounced awkwardly off him. Johnson had one attempt, was charged down, but at the second try, firmly planted his shot past Alan Knight. Wilford just got his toe to the ball before Kitson. A lovely ball from Simons, finds Tony Dobson. Dobson against Charles. And Dobson's kept the ball in. Paul Walsh! And Pompey have equalised! A superb goal from Paul Walsh, made by an absolutely phenomenal ball from Kit Simons out to Tony Dobson on the left. Dobson's strong work against Gary Charles, the former England international, paid off as he set Paul Walsh up for the equaliser in the 36th minute. And who came on for Marco Gabbiadini. Pembridge is up and Lawford again. And Gary Charles as Paul Walsh. It's a telling tackle in. And McLoughlin with Christensen racing through the middle, but McLoughlin turning instead, creating space. It's Simons, spots Stimpson, and Stimpson has Dobson, beautiful ball back to Walsh. Oh, Walsh and surely John Durnin who put Pompey into the lead. A well-worked goal by Pompey. Again, the very first man to touch the ball was Simons. He works it down the left. Stimpson sent Dobson through. Ball was played back quite obliquely to Paul Walsh. His shot charged down, and John Durnin finds the back of the net. And Pompey score in the first minute of the second half to take the lead. 46th minute in the match. He's made himself popular so far at Fratton Park. Christensen. Oh, and lovely play from Pompey, stringing the passes together. Stimpson finds Walsh. Walsh turns, pass, and surely forward is a penalty. Walsh completely turned Craig Scholl there. Far too quick for Britain's first costly defender. And he pulled him back. And referee Mike Bailey had no alternative but to point to the spot. Kit Simons will take the penalty kick. But first there's some administration work to be done by Mike Bailey. There's been, it's John Harkes who's got too much to say. And John Harkes it is, whose name will go into the book. In the 61st minute. Yellow card for Harkes. Well, he should be involved in the World Cup next year. John Harkes for America. And here, stepping up as a man for Pompey, who might well be in those World Cup finals too, with Wales. It's Kit Simons against Martin Taylor. He scores! 3-1! Kit Simons makes no mistake at all. And Pompey move further into the lead now. 3-1 after playing some of the best football they've played all season. Hit low, short, Kitson, and it's there. It's a goal for Derby County. Kitson was in acres of space in the middle of the penalty area. Short took the shot. Kitson controlled it, turned and beat Alan Knight.
In Division 1, Portsmouth got off to a flying start at Notts County. On-loan defender Tony Dobson putting Pompey ahead in the 7th minute. And they held on to that lead until 2 minutes from the end. Richard Walker snatching the points to deny Portsmouth their first away league win. Notts County 1, Portsmouth 1.
Rolled into Walsh. Warren Neal again. Made a present of the ball to Bowden. Simons. Yes, they're onside. Here's Walsh. McLaughlin's on the back post. Did it! Pompey's leading goal scorer gives them the lead. And that combination of Paul Walsh and John Durnin comes up trumps for Portsmouth. Swindon were appealing for the offside flag when Walsh found Durnin and Durnin found the net. And the Portsmouth captain was the architect of this goal. His accurate pass bisected the Swindon defence and Durnin's shot was accurate. Brought Fraser Digby into the action at least. Somerby helped it on. In fact, it was Maskell who got the header in. Simons steps away from the tackle. Looking for Walsh. Corner to Portsmouth, who are 15 minutes away from victory against Swindon Town. Mark Chamberlain will take the corner for Portsmouth. It's short involving McLoughlin. Walsh! Walsh again! That'll do! There's surely no way back for Swindon now. Well, Walsh was denied by an outstanding save there by Fraser Digby. But Walsh was first to react once the ball had been clawed away to steer the ball into an unguarded net. And once again, a short corner pays dividends for Portsmouth, who now lead Swindon Town by 2-0.
Special guests at the Tranmere home match were the double championship winning side, including legend Len Phillips. You played over 200 times for Pompey. What's it like to be back at Fratton?
Very nice, lovely. The ground looks a lot better than what it was then. It's marvellous, the ground.
And Stimson it is who's moving more forward to support the attack. And perhaps Stimson it'll be who can do something to break this 0-0 situation. Gittins. And this time it is put wide for John Durnin to chase. Vickers concedes the throw. Durnin requires the ball out in those wide positions to use his pace. McLoughlin in the area. John Durnin chipped it neatly. Oh, Walsh! And the ball indeed on the back of the line. Interception. Tony Dobson it was who came round the back. The number 3 for Pompey to head them into the lead. 19 minutes into the second half. And finally Tranmere are broken. Some fine play out on the right. It looked to have eluded Paul Walsh, but Tony Dobson in at the back post. It's long towards Durnin, but nobody's taken up the position that he found, but perhaps Paul Walsh can get something out of this. Walsh has beaten Nixon, looks to the empty goal. Paul Walsh has scored a superb goal for Pompey. He caught Eric Nixon napping as Nixon, well, it's probably Nixon's just desserts. He's been dawdling with the ball all afternoon, and Paul Walsh makes him pay for it in the last instant. Nixon's distraught, he can't believe it, his teammate season. And Pompey now, with 10 minutes to go in the match, find themselves 2-0 up.
The unbeaten run had continued throughout October. 15 matches in all now, Pompey had gone without defeat, up to 8th position in the league. But it's about 15 minutes to go of the match now, and Pompey really need to do something, and that ball might cut through to Paul Hall. Paul gets in ahead of Dean Pearce, and Paul Hall has put Pompey into the lead. Stuart Dowling spotted Paul Hall out on the right. He sent through an audacious ball for him to run onto. Stephen Pearce decided to go for it, but it was Paul Hall who got there in ahead of Pearce and to put Pompey in the lead. £100,000, of course, from Torquay United. Now John Durnin, and Walsh might spot Hall, but he spots Durnin instead. And Durnin, John Durnin caps off with this Pompey display with a superb shot, curling it past Stephen Pearce. Well, John Durnin has had 2 or 3 shots straight into the middle of Pearce's body, but on that occasion, he made no mistake. The Liverpool player, he played at Anfield with Paul Walsh, and that was a quite clinical finish from John Durnin. Returning to Roker Park, the scene of last season's biggest disappointment, the unbeaten run went on. Durnin won the ball out on the byline, cut it inside, Wally Neal pushed it in, and Paul Walsh jinked his way.
Had its detractors, but no one in the Portsmouth squad's been complaining too hard about spending 3 days by the Adriatic with temperatures still in the 70s. On top of that, manager Jim Smith will have been reminding his players that a trip to Wembley awaits the finalists. With a draw already under their belt, Portsmouth looked good bets to make the semi-finals when midfielder Stuart Dowling fired them into an early lead last night. But Pescara, who are bottom of the Serie B, hit back 20 minutes later through Eddie Bivy. And midway through the second half, the Italians seal victory with this goal from midfielder Giuseppe Campagno.
Portsmouth continued their march up Division 1. This win at Birmingham stretched their unbeaten run to 12 games. The only goal came when Warren Neal's shot came back off the bar and Mark Stimson scored from the rebound. It was Stimson's first ever goal for Pompey. In the last minute, Birmingham almost equalised, Richard Dryden's header hitting the bar. And there was still time for John Durnin to hit a penalty against the post in injury time. Final score, Birmingham 0, Portsmouth 1, and Pompey goes 7th.
Pompey may have been the informed side, but it was Albion who looked more like promotion contenders. And the Midlanders took a deserved lead in the 16th minute following this high cross. Andy Hunt heading down for Bob Taylor to score his 12th of the season. The one-way traffic continued with West Brom in complete charge against a shell-shot Portsmouth side. And it came as no surprise when they added a second. Kieran O'Regan blasting a superb shot past an unsighted Alan Knight. Alan McLoughlin got one back for Pompey, but Andy Hunt scored 2 late goals to make it West Brom 4, Portsmouth 1.
If Paul Walsh had thoughts of a transfer on his mind, he certainly didn't let it affect his game last night. Straight from the kick-off, he took on the Peterborough defence single-handed and was just inches away from opening the scoring. It typified Walsh's attitude and emphasised why Jim Smith is so anxious to keep him. 5 minutes later, it was Walsh again, crossing for John Durnin to volley just wide. Then a free kick from Tony Dobson, who should finally complete his transfer from Blackburn this week, brought the best save of the night from the impressive Ian Bennett. Into the second half, and Walsh continued to torment the home defence. Desperate measures needed at times to stop him. The free kick provided Durnin with another scoring opportunity, the replay showing just how close he was to a deserved goal. But fittingly, it was another defence-splitting run by Walsh that almost broke the deadlock late in the game. Jim Smith is certain his team can finish the job at Fratton Park on December the 15th, but by then, will Paul Walsh still be part of the club?
The unbeaten run came to an emphatic end at West Bromwich Albion after 12 league matches undefeated. But Paul Walsh's form was attracting attention countrywide. An infringement spotted by the linesman there as Warren Neal quickly takes the free kick to McLoughlin. Walsh now in the area. Paul Walsh flicks it across, Durnin's free, and John Durnin is picked out by Paul Walsh. With the 44th minute of the match, John Durnin puts Pompey into the lead. The simplest of goals, he got away from his marker. Walsh looked up and found Durnin, and there he was to score his 9th goal of the season, his 5th in the league. John Durnin now up as equal top scorer for Pompey. Flicked on by Durnin, and it's a burst of speed there from Christensen, and it's gained Pompey another corner. And that's Pompey's 12th corner of the game. And over goes international Alan McLoughlin to take this with his right foot. Again, Doling's on the box. It's the same pattern as before. Butters looking long now. Butters going to get there. Guy Butters has scored for Pompey. Alan McLaughlin's pinpoint corner spots the substitute Guy Butters. And he comes on to the end of that corner, and Pompey take a 2-0 lead. And a superb bit of interplay there. The corner from Alan McLoughlin, and Butters read that corner all the way and all the way into the net. Pompey appeared live on television in a top-of-the-table clash with fellow promotion hopefuls Charlton Athletic, and it was this goal from Warren Neal which sealed the match. 1-0 to Pompey. The cross from Paul Walsh, the faintest of flicks from Dobson, and Warren Neal slotting the goal in. 1-0 to Pompey. The fans went wild.
Durnin gives chase. And Peterborough United are going to make a change. Number 14, Bobby Barnes, will come on purely, I suspect, to take a penalty in the shootout, which is just 60 seconds away. Andy Fernand is a player who comes on. Ball is out of play. Adcock couldn't deny Portsmouth the throw-in. Christensen. Warren Neal lines himself up for a shot. McLoughlin. Christensen. Oh, he scored! It's a goal to take Portsmouth to Old Trafford to play Manchester United. Just 4 seconds of extra time were left when Christensen bent that ball in. Oh, what a knockout blow Portsmouth have landed here. Benny Christensen with a goal to send Portsmouth through to the last 8.
Back to his defensive duties, still of course yet to score for Portsmouth in any capacity, and now Mark Chamberlain breaks into the box beautifully. Chamberlain and Alan McLoughlin, as calm as you like, stands 7 yards out from the line and taps the ball in for Pompey's first goal after 22 minutes. The Republic of Ireland international, after some quite splendid footwork from Mark Chamberlain inside the box. And the ball's broken to Joey Beecham. This could be trouble for Pompey. Beecham, and the ball tantalisingly creeps over the line for Joey Beecham and Pompey, who have had opportunities to go ahead, find themselves now back level with Oxford United. So it's again taken quickly. And Marini, Simons reads the situation well. And Tony Dobson perhaps with a chance to... Oh, that's a lovely ball, and Paul Hall is onside. It's Paul Hall. The chance for Pompey's round the keeper. And Paul Hall puts the ball into the net for Pompey's first goal. It's in the 19th minute. And Pompey take the lead. The Fiorentina players were static. They were certain offside had been breached. In fact, it had been breached by Paul Hall and his well-timed run. Walsh fed him after Dobson's pass, and Hall has put Pompey into the lead. Now Andy Orford, and the ball across the park, and there is Giacomo Bancelli to side-foot the ball into the net. Get the ball back to the correct distance. It's going to be Flacci to take it, and he's taken it into the far corner of the net. It took a deflection on the way, and Francesco Flacci has put Fiorentina into the lead. Tries to turn inside, Durnin, and Durnin's tackle might make something for Dobson here. Dobson can get in first. Tony Dobson forces the ball over the line, and Tony Dobson has equalised for Pompey. John Durnin's tackle led to the ball, cascading up into the air. Dobson took it on, coming over the goalkeeper and shepherded it over the line. And so with just 6 minutes now remaining, Pompey have equalised. Tony Dobson. 3 minutes of added on time by the watches we have. And Robiati surely pushing into Durnin. Durnin's up well, and he's threaded through Alberto again. Alberto through, can he finish it off for Fiorentina? He can. And Alberto, Paulowski Alberto, has added the 3rd goal for Fiorentina. So Pompey up to 7th position, and for the first time during December, Jim Smith was able to send out the same side 2 matches in a row. Lots of injuries occurring in the Pompey lineup, but glory days were ahead. 2 matches against the top 2, and in the first, in the FA Cup, Pompey miraculously came back 3 times from being a goal down against Blackburn. Each time, the midfielder and Republic of Ireland international, Alan McLoughlin, pulled Pompey back into the game. We've seen what Premier League football's like playing against Blackburn, so do United hold any fears?
Of course they're the best team in the land. There's bound to be fears going anywhere like that. But we're just going to go full of confidence, the same as we did at Blackburn. There's nothing to fear. We go there as underdogs, So if we get beat 4 or 5, then people want me to respond that. But we're determined not to get beat that score. We're determined to go there, give a good show, show the Old Trafford public and the Manchester public what we can do. And obviously for the fans, our Pompey fans who will be there and who will be watching on the TV.
I've room with Ryan quite a lot at the Welsh games, so I know him quite well and get on well with Mark Hughes as well.
And what sort of strategy would you have to try and stop Ryan Giggs?
What can you do to try and stop Ryan Giggs? Just let's hope he has a bad day and we play well. So
this time you're going to be up probably against Cantona.
That's right, yeah, obviously another big name to play against. But I like playing against these big names. I think generally the whole team tend to raise their game, as hopefully I would as well.
Now the Man United game is a very special game anyway, but for you, you're up with your old pal Peter Schmeichel.
Yeah, he's a very good keeper. He's probably the best in the world. I mean, I would love to put one past him. I haven't scored against him as far as I can remember in my whole career, but it would be nice to get one there.
We know that it's a very difficult task. We know they're a very, very good side, and without a shadow of doubt, probably with the best side in Great Britain. But football, and certainly cup football, always gives you a chance. And providing we will work very, very hard, play to our very best ability, have a little bit of luck, we can again obviously upset Manchester United. On the other side of the coin, we could also face a bit of a hammering because they are the best team by far, you know. But if we can handle the night, the 44,000 people, and we defend well, we've got players who can cause any team trouble.
Is McLoughlin, Orford, Benny Christensen, Cyril, Ray Daniel, Stimson and John Durnin. I'm Sterling, one of the subs. There's the fans. Superb support for Pompey. A magnificent stadium here at Old Trafford for this Coca-Cola Cup 5th round match. Pompey versus Manchester United. United, runaway leaders of the Premier League, and Pompey ready to build on that magnificent result last Saturday at Blackburn Rovers, when they unbelievably came back 3 times to level the match and to end their goal-scoring drought with Alan McLoughlin's hat-trick. There were 386 minutes between Magnet's goal, first one against Blackburn, and Pompey's previous goal against Oxford. But tonight, at Old Trafford here, buoyed up by that magnificent performance, they're ready to take on the tops. Pompey team tonight, Alan Knight in goal. Christensen retains his position at right back. Kit Simons, Dobson and Orford are in the centre of defence, with Ray Daniel on the left ready to come forward. John Durnin has the midfield role, with McLoughlin and Stimpson, and Darryl Powell and Paul Walsh are up front. And one person to think of tonight, think of poor Warren Neal. His 3-match ban has taken in this match at Old Trafford due to the fact only that the Leicester City match was postponed. Premier League clubs wear their names on their back. Pompey are wearing the name Pompey proudly tonight, as there's the 3-goal hero Alan McLoughlin. Now here's Durnin in the starting lineup in this match. Benny Christensen down the wing. And beats his fellow countrymen. And there's one of those long throws from Schmeichel, but Pompey cut it out effectively. Ray Daniel looking for Powell. Just beyond Pompey striker. This time Schmeichel's throw straight to touch. Darryl Powell. He's in elevated company tonight. Here's Alan McLoughlin feeding Powell. Powell across the face of the goal, and Schmeichel had to get down early as Walsh came in, and great play there from Darryl Powell. Forced his way to the edge of the area, got the cross in. Now Kanchelski's running at the defence has been obstructed. Here's the ball from McLoughlin, feeds Darryl Powell. Good running by Big Cyril.
and a great diving save by Schmeichel, one-handed, as Walsh was coming in, sniffing the goal. Indicates the movement he requires. He's looking towards Powell. Powell's up, but it's not laid off. John Durnin, and the ball dips, but Schmeichel's down behind it. And John Durnin, who always fancies his chances with a long-range effort, saw this as a moment of glory, got it onto his right foot, but didn't get his full power behind it. Gary Pallister. And Giggs is through! He's onside! And the ball squeezed under Alan Knight as Alan Knight came out. He seemed to have covered the ball, but was Giggs offside? That's the question. The ball found him on the edge of the area. He seemed to be completely unmarked. We'll take a look at the replay, but somehow the ball squeezed under Alan Knight. Here he comes the ball. Giggs is looking in an offside position. Knight's come out, tried to smother it. It's come off a couple of defenders. It's squeezed under Alan Knight, and Giggs has tapped the ball into an empty net. Brings the ball down, not the best of first touches, in fact. Hughes it was who came in, squeezed the ball underneath Alan Knight, and Ryan Giggs was on hand just to tap the ball into an empty net. Stimpson, put by the goal scorer. Stimpson, McLoughlin again, linking well, now Walsh. Could turn Bruce, and Walsh turns Bruce well, faces him, and Bruce is forced to give away a corner. It's Pompey's first corner of the match. It's in the 31st minute. And Alan McLaughlin's moving to take it. Benny Christensen's up on the far post. McLaughlin, his right foot. Sits short. Walsh! Walsh is up with the header! Paul Walsh found himself in space in the 6-yard box. He will know how it happened. The Manchester United defence will wonder how it happened. And one of the smallest men on the park has put Pompey back in the match with a stunning header. He's got away from his marker, Paul Parker, and he's powered that header into the back of the net. Schmeichel could do nothing about it. Look how he gets away. Schmeichel at full length, and Walshy's put Pompey back in the match. Pompey's first corner of the game. There it goes. What a fantastic sight that is from the Pompey captain. And a sensation here at Old Trafford as Pompey claw themselves back into the match with a superb goal. But now here comes Cantona. And here's Manchester United in all sorts of numbers in the Pompey area. Pompey scrapping. Giggs with the cross. And Ray Daniel it is who relieves the pressure as United try and strike straight back. The excitement amongst the fans behind. And Jim Smith back in his seat. He can't believe it. Pompey are back in the game. 1-1 at Old Trafford. Fans are literally going wild behind the Pompey goal. And Pallister, while he claims that he was impeded as he went up for his header, wants to swing the ball across from Kanchelskis. Christensen's there. Pompey complete the clearance. John Durnin. Durnin flicks it out. McLoughlin. McLoughlin into the box. Paul Parker brings down McLoughlin. Penalty. McLoughlin brought down, but referee Barrett is not giving the decision. Well, that is quite incredible. McLoughlin pushed the ball way past Paul Parker. Parker across McLaughlin's legs, down with McLoughlin, well inside the area. That surely should have been a penalty for Pompey. McLoughlin can't believe it, the fans can't believe it. Let's take one more look. The ball is way past Parker, and McLoughlin is down. How more blatant can you get? Parker. Paul Parker again. Chips the ball forward. Cantona! And Paul Parker had the time there to look up and find the Frenchman, Eric Cantona. It's Cantona's 15th goal of the season. Alex Ferguson's face shows no joy, but he must be feeling it inside. Parker given just a bit too much space. A chip, a delightful little chip, and Cantona powers a header as he got in behind the makeshift defence. Parker's pinpoint cross. This time Cantona doesn't try and place the ball. He powered his header in, and Pompey find themselves behind again. And that's good play by Cantona. Looking to get Giggs through. Alan Knight's out first. Important race won by Knight. And now at the other end, Schmeichel easily in ahead of Darryl Powell, but the ball holding up in the air. And Pompey's attack not yet over as Stimpson has a chance to turn. And now McLoughlin looking for Ray Daniel out on the left. Neat play by Daniel. Daniel, Stimpson now. Cuts inside. Now Stimpson might try a shot. Flicks the ball on cleverly to Darryl Powell. Powell takes it to the line. He shoots the ball. The ball is pushed up by Schmeichel. Darryl Powell took the ball to the byline. He seemed to shoot. Schmeichel went down. The ball ballooned up of his left arm. And there was that man again, Paul Walsh, to head the ball into the net, and Pompey have done it again. Quite unbelievable. The smile on Graham Paddon's face. Here goes Darryl Powell, takes the ball to the byline, shoots, up, flicks the ball off the arm of Schmeichel. You can see how annoyed he is. There's a brilliant ball through from Mark Stimpson, breaking the offside trap. Darryl Powell looks up, seemed to see Schmeichel move, but Walsh, look how quickly he reacted as the ball flicked off of Big Schmeichel's hand. Here it is again, Schmeichel not getting his full hand onto the ball. Walsh the opportunist, and Pompey are back in the match. The chimes ring out. McLoughlin takes his time. Now finds Chamberlain. Feeds Durnin, and John Durnin looked for glory. He had a small gap, an opening. He decided to shoot, but it's all over. It's the last action of the evening. Jim Smith, a lovely touch there, shakes hands and embraces Alex Ferguson. He knows that his Pompey side has done themselves proud. They fought with the best. They've taken on the top of the league, and they've come to Old Trafford and got a draw. Goals from Paul Walsh, both of them his 10th and 11th goals of the season, as he acknowledges the fantastic travelling support from Portsmouth. The Pompey fans go wild. It's all going to happen again on Wednesday, the 26th of January, in the replay at Fratton Park. The final score here at Old Trafford: Manchester United 2, Portsmouth 2.
Manchester United goal. And Brian McClare in for Mark Hughes.
Well, good delivery here by Giggs. There's a touch on at the near post. I think it's from Cantona. And McClare gets up very, very well from a standing jump. And as we said, they've just upped it in the last few minutes, and we did suspect this.
1-0 to Manchester United.
So January ended with Pompey out of both cups with glorious memories. But would those cup matches have their effect in the league? Pompey's goal drought, which had continued through the entire month of January, was finally ended. And with an ironic cheer from the away fans, Alan McLoughlin slotted in a goal that was only a consolation as Pompey went down 3-1 at Tranmere Rovers. His contribution so far as Creaney does well despite the attendance, and now Gerry Creaney can open his account for Pompey in a most delightful way. Powell it was who combined with him so successfully. The 21st minute, Gerry Creaney scores his first goal for Pompey, and the Fratton Park crowd see a goal. A lovely bit of play, and he had a goal scorer's head on him once he got into that box, just flicking it over Paul Crichton. The 21st minute, Creaney, the goal scorer. Flea ball to Paul Hall. The little winger from Manchester cuts inside, and surely it's a penalty to Pompey, as Paul Hall created all sorts of confusion and danger in the Grimsby penalty area. And he was bundled over by Croft and Groves. And Gerry Creaney has the ball in his hand, while Kit Simons took the last penalty, and Kit Simons is staying firmly in the Pompey half. Gerry Creaney it is who is taking the responsibility of this penalty. The chance to put Pompey 2 in the lead. Creaney scores! And Pompey go 2 up, and Creaney gets his second. 26th minute of the match. Gerry Creaney has run riot. A brace of goals in 5 minutes. Spirits much lighter than of late as Gerry Creaney tries to find Christensen with a through ball, and in fact Pompey awarded the free kick right the start of the second half in a very dangerous position, and Benny Christensen perhaps favourite to have a go here. Just outside the box, Dobson and Creaney conferring. Christensen looks to be favourite. Gittins doing some, and Creaney, Gerry Creaney gets his hat-trick for Pompey. A quite incredible goal right at the start of the second half. Well, perhaps Grimsby Town were bemused by the sight of Benny Christensen over the ball, but Gerry Creaney comes good. A superb goal from Creaney right out of the top draw. Gerry Creaney, a hat-trick, and his first scoring for Pompey. Dobson up well, oh, and there's a goal for Grimsby Town. They've got one back with just 8 minutes of the match remaining.
Heavy snow left the match in doubt until an hour before kick-off, and Portsmouth were soon regretting it ever started. Ray Daniel appeared to head past Alan Knight after just 5 minutes, although Paul Telfer claimed the goal. Worse was to follow. Pompey failed to clear a corner properly, and David Priest's shot beat the unsighted Knight. Portsmouth's best chance of the first half fell to Tony Dobson. His long-range effort slipped through Summers' hands, but the keeper managed to palm it to safety. In the second half, there were 3 goals in 4 minutes. John Gitting's poor clearance was picked up by Kerry Hughes, and his low shot eluded Knight. Moments later, Kit Simons slipped in the snow, and Scott Oakes measured his chip to perfection over the stranded Knight. Simons immediately went to the other end to score with a brave header, but it was too late, and Jim Smith faces some searching questions over his lineup before Saturday's testing game at Stoke. Final score, Luton 4, Portsmouth 1.
Just one win out of 5 in February for Pompey, and it slipped down to 15th position. And as soon as March began, things didn't get any better. First of all, a home defeat against Crystal Palace, and then this match against Southend, where Pompey took the lead through Gerry Creaney. But Southend bounced back well, first with a close-range header, and then with a stunning shot that beat Alan Knight, all ends up in his top corner. Gittins hits long. McLoughlin turns, brings Pethick into service. Now Creaney. And the former England international hit it superbly past the left hand of Mike Stowell to put Pompey into the lead in the 35th minute of the game. Powell straight into the action. Stimpson still forward, Stimpson steals. Cross from Stimpson, Creaney! Gerry Creaney arches his neck and flicks the ball past Mike Stowell for a great goal. And definite work too from Mark Stimpson. Creaney shakes him by the hand. A sign of Hall warming up. Chamberlain looks as if he's going to come through a full 90 minutes. And well won by Darryl Powell, and Powell almost slips twice. Still keeps himself up. Creaney's calling for it, he's found some space. That's a great ball to Creaney, and a superb goal for Pompey. Number 3, what a ball from Darryl Powell. That was vision. Darryl Powell, who almost slipped on the touchline twice, held his balance to send over a quite incredible ball, and Gerry Creaney knocks it in on the volley. Pompey 3, Wolves 0. Creaney with his second of the match.
Darryl Powell being urged on by the Portsmouth crowd. They want to see their team create a little more damage at the other end. This is Stimpson. He's got past the tackle. Gore in the middle. Doesn't fall for him, but it does to Creaney! 35 minutes gone, and Portsmouth take the lead. And it's Gerry Creaney for his 7th goal in 11 games. Stimpson got away down the left. Gore's hanging presence there, and just above the knockdown, and drilled it by Creaney. Powell in firmly, now Chamberlain to Hall, streaking away down the left. He's got Creaney in the middle. Still Hall, good run! Marvellous goal! Oh, it was a brilliant run and a stunning finish by young Paul Hall. 2-0 to Portsmouth. 8 minutes into the second half. And that has really brought the crowd to their feet. An absolute gem of a goal. It's neatly done. Collimore's pulled away to the right. This is Collimore now. Can he finish it here? Terrific run by Collimore. Oh, that's a class goal.
Portsmouth took only 45 seconds to open the scoring. Gerry Creaney's 8th goal in 11 league games since his move from Celtic. A defensive blunder let in winger Paul Hall for Pompey's 2nd. And the agony of the home fans was prolonged when Leicester's captain Steve Agnew blasted a penalty miles over the bar. just to rub salt into the wounds, 3 minutes before half-time, Alan McLoughlin joined the Portsmouth goal-scoring party. Final score, Leicester 0, Portsmouth 3. Pompey just 6 points off the playoff positions.
After a poor start to the month, Pompey recovered well with 3 wins out of 6. The big story was Walsh's departure, but up front, Gerry Creaney was banging them in. Paul, though, with the cross deep towards Burr. Daryl Powell steals it, and the ball goes over the top of Casey Keller. Daryl Powell claims the goal. Well, that was reward for perseverance from Daryl Powell. Casey Keller might think himself unlucky as the ball looped over him off a defender, but Daryl Powell has put Pompey into the lead in the 42nd minute. 5 corners they had in the first half, Pompey none at all. Here's Berry loading it in, and that's a goal from Ken Cunningham. But still Pompey aren't finished. Looking deep towards Creaney, Creaney's up, Warren Neal's in there, down goes Warren Neal, and a penalty has been given to Pompey. Warren Neal had the ball under control and tried to get his shot in came the tackle, and referee Jim Rushton has awarded Pompey a penalty with just 4 minutes of the match remaining. Absolute sensation. The Millwall players cannot believe it, but they're resigned to the fact that Gerry Creaney has a chance to score his 9th goal since joining Pompey. He's up against the potential international keeper from the United States. Creaney turns and scores! And Gerry Creaney keeps the goal-scoring record going. 9 goals now for Creaney. In the 84th minute, 87th minute in fact, as Morley tries to get the ball into play, and the ball's on the line, and the ball has been put into the net by Mitchell, and Millwall have equalised. 7 minutes gone of it, and McLoughlin floats to the near post, flicked on, and into the goal by Paul Wood. He atones for that miss in the first half and opens his account on his return to Pompey. Paul Wood has put Pompey into the lead, and Pompey have thoroughly deserved to be in that position. Hope on the terraces. Dobson. And into the net from Daryl Powell. Well, what a strike record Pompey have with corners in this second half. Tony Dobson this time from the opposite side of the park. Daryl Powell heads his goal. It's his 5th of the season. And he'll love scoring one with his head. And Creaney slides fully 15 yards across the turf. Oh, Gittins and Neal make a mess of it. In comes Andy Payton, but Kit Simons is there, and referee Dunn has decided that Pompey have fouled Payton in the box, and so right at the death of the game, Alan Knight's certainly not happy about this. Redfern's the man who's going to take the penalty. Well, it looked a harsh decision. Alan Knight now faces Redfern. And Redfern tucks it away. 45 minutes is up in the second half.
Portsmouth romped to a comfortable win to squash Middlesbrough's playoff hopes. Former Celtic striker Gerry Creaney maintained his impressive scoring record with a goal in the 20th minute. It must have been one of the easiest of his career. But his confidence in front of goal is now rubbing off on the rest of the team. Pompey ran rings round the Borough defence, and Daryl Powell's strike silenced the Teessiders. Final score, Portsmouth 2, Middlesbrough 0.
But those goals against Middlesbrough were the last Pompey were to score, so their chances of promotion were gone. Meanwhile, a big fun night was planned for Alan Knight.
Testimonial. He scores! And how fitting that the great servant for Pompey is the first on the score sheet. He runs the length of the field in celebration, and the crowd go wild. Well done, Alan Knight.
But in the end, it was disappointment for Pompey. And we finished up in 17th position after so many great hopes carried forward from the previous season. But the matches against Manchester United and Blackburn Rovers will make this a season to remember. Stimpson, a lovely ball with the outside of his foot. Walsh keeps it in. For Spurs, a lovely goal, Burns! A superb volley from Chrissy Burns. Stimpson it was who sent Paul Walsh down the line. Walsh with the cross, and Chris Burns a quite superb volley. Long towards Durnin, but nobody's taken up the position that he found, but perhaps Paul Walsh can get something out of this. Walsh has beaten Nixon up to the empty goal. Oh, just scored a superb goal for Pompey! He caught Eric Nixon napping as Nixon, well, it's probably Nixon's just desserts. He's been dawdling with the ball all afternoon, and Paul Walsh makes him pay for it. And the last instant, Nixon's distraught. He can't believe it. His teammates, well, they won't even look at him. Paul Walsh sets Fratton Park alight with his fourth league goal of the season. Pompey really need to do something, and that ball might cut through to Paul Hall. Paul gets in ahead of Dean Pearce, and Paul Hall has put Pompey into the lead. Stuart Darling spotted Paul Hall out on the right. He sent through an audacious ball for him to run onto. Stephen Pearce decided to go for it, but it was Paul Hall who got there in ahead of Pearce and to put Pompey in the lead. And Walsh might spot Hall, but he spots Durnin instead, and Durnin